Geek Dad Life presents Screen Geeks, a live TV and film talk show. Tonight we're going to talk about the Book of Boba Fett Season 1 and share all of our thoughts after its action-packed finale. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
Spoken such insolence to Jabba. He fed you to his menagerie.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Screen Geeks. My name is Jay, and with me, as always, on this journey of Screen Geekery is my good friend Ralph. Ralph, how you doing tonight?
Doing great. Doing great. It's another Wednesday, and of course, it's time for Screen Geeks. Dude, listen, man. I'm excited. I've been doing this Star Wars show, and
Yes,
I've already
you have.
talked about this morning at 7:30. So almost 11 hours ago, but I'm still excited to talk about Star Wars anytime.
I appreciate you coming here because I know you have a live action Star Wars where you have been covering this season of Book of Boba Fett. I was actually thankful enough to be a guest on one of your episodes. It was episode 3, maybe the most controversial episode of the series with the Vespa gang, but
Stupidly controversial for me. Well, crack me up. So just real quick.
Yes.
So let me get this straight. The speeder bikes are too bright.
Mm-hmm.
But Cad Bane isn't bright enough. All right, got it. Just making sure we're all
don't you
all
know
of our
Ralph,
saturations and brightness levels need to be adjusted. Spoilers for everybody, just in advance. If you haven't watched all of Book of Boba,
well, yeah, let's put it up now. So Screen Geeks, usually we're talking about an episode of something or a movie or something like that has been recently unveiled. So this is your spoiler alert. We're talking about all of the first season, maybe the only season of Book of Boba Fett. So if you have not seen any of the episodes or the finale today, just wait until you have watched the whole thing. So this is your spoiler alert. Just leave now or forever hold your peace. But
your flashing banner scared me. I thought I was going to be Stump Ralph.
We have done Stump Ralph here and there. We
Yeah.
haven't got any submissions, but let's say hello to the chat. It is hopping as always. We got live action Star Wars here. See there, you can click on that link. But I'm a little bit disappointed.
An hour ago.
I'm a little disappointed, Ralph, that you didn't say hello there.
Hello there. Yeah. Listen. I like the dude, but I just want to show off my lightsaber.
Come on.
No, I mentioned this on my show.
Mm-hmm.
All the catchphrases drive me nuts. They drive me nuts.
Can you even Star Wars if you don't get into the meme culture?
The it's a trap and this is the way and I have spoken. Oh my God, come on.
No fun, Ralph. A16 internet hashtag bring back the Rancor. Oh, I'm sorry. Alo internet. Jay Griffiths, Hasbro done goof. Yes, they did, because the Rancor was in full force today, full on kaiju mode. It was amazing. Yeah. That is 100% true. Jeff Morris, little sad no machete kills in the episode, but I liked it. Yeah. Kind of bummed he was not in this episode as well. Space Cowboy is here. Death Saves is here. The Rancor was the real MVP. Guess Hasbro should have waited a few months before that. It really doesn't make sense. Absolutely. It does not make sense at all that they did not.
Right.
That. Toy and Fun, Albert. So lasers don't hurt the Rancor. I think it's kind of like a King Kong thing, where they shoot a bunch of bullets at King Kong and it doesn't really hurt him. So
bullets don't hurt, or the lasers don't hurt Black Chrysanthemum.
Yeah, geez, Louise, Santo, unkillable. Albert, Death Saves, Alias, Angel, Alias is here, as well as Scott D, Riley, Bob, Sergeant McSplotter, Sergeant McSplotter. Book of Boba Mess, Jeff Morris, Brandon 3G, Darth Maximus, Aaron E. Nichols, Nelson A. Liquid Cucumber, as well as Nick Dillinger, Eddie Aguilar, Black Phoenix, Dartherian, Kayla Silva. Hello, nerds. Did I do Nelson A? If I didn't, there you go.
I think you missed the
Who did I miss?
I think you missed the top one.
Eddie?
Right after.
Black?
Yeah.
Black
The
Phoenix?
very top. The very, very top.
The very, very top in front of you? There's nobody.
Yeah, just that live action Star Wars one.
I did the live action Star Wars
I
one.
don't remember.
Oh my God. It was like 5 seconds ago. David Partridge,
Sorry.
Jeff Morris, Ariel TMNT.
Okay, you definitely skipped Stevie.
Oh, I did. Sorry,
I
Steve.
watch you at 100%. Okay.
Where can we submit Stump Ralph? You can submit it to. Again, it's real. I believe we
did it once.
Covers, right?
We did VHS covers. We did it once, and I got it right, I think.
You did. So if anybody wants to send in VHS covers by cutting out the title of the movie, you can send those to geekdadlife@gmail.com. There you go. Let's see. Keep going here on the comments. Jeff Morris, Ariel, Thanos, and Jamie Vaughn. I apologize for my voice, everybody. I'm doing this musical project where I'm in a band and I'm singing for the first time. And I was writing this new song and I was like giving it all I got and I blew out my voice on the music. Studio Henge was satisfied. And yeah, let's just talk about the season as a whole. The Book of Boba Fett, I don't think it was perfect, but it had some of my favorite Star Wars things ever. So, Ralph, you are an unabashed Star Wars fanboy. I think you love Star Wars a lot. So I do want to give that caveat. But Ralph, what was your thoughts on season 1 of the Book of Boba Fett?
First of all, as far as Star Wars goes, none of it is perfect. There is not a perfect Star Wars.
Mm-hmm.
There'll be something to find. When it comes to these things, I try not to let expectations get in the way. I like to see where things go, and I very much enjoyed watching new Star Wars.
Yep.
Was it the best? Maybe not. But I mean, some of the complaints are that 2 full episodes had nothing to do with the titular Boba Fett.
Mm-hmm.
But we got probably the 2 best Mandalorian episodes ever, so that kind of made things cool. I was like, okay, cool. I did not it was like a little bonus. It was like an actual good prize in your Cracker Jacks.
Absolutely.
So Cracker Jack, sorry. Yeah, I mean, we got new Star Wars, and it's great. And I know it's nice because you have the familiar of Tatooine.
Yep.
And then you have like new characters.
Yep.
And old characters you never would think you would see in live action. Cad Bane,
yes,
Black Chrysanthemum,
yes,
those Hutts, those Hutt twins.
Oh my God, yes.
Got to see Cobb Vanth again. So everything, it was all gravy. Everything was just like, I don't know. I have this mindset that until 1999, I thought there was no more Star Wars.
Yep.
So I have nothing to complain about. Nothing to complain about. Did I have problems with the prequel trilogy? Absolutely. Am I coming around on that? Absolutely. Do I think Rise of Skywalker is perfect? Yes. And I don't, but the thing is, what's great about now is if Jay didn't like Rise of Skywalker, which he didn't, there's tons more Star Wars out there now for you to enjoy, The Bad Batch.
Yeah.
Or
it's you're 100% right, and I do want to give the caveat that I hated Rise of Skywalker, but I also love The Last Jedi. Like I actually really like the movie, and I know a lot of people really hate that movie. So it's I can kind of get.
And I'm right smack dab in the middle of The Last Jedi. Like half of it, I absolutely love. The other half, I absolutely don't. And it's the one I revisit the least, but I don't need to go argue about it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Why would I need to argue about it? I'll just go watch Solo and be happy in my little corner of with the other Solo fans, which
Mhm.
there are dozens of us.
It's literally
Dozens.
dozens.
So it's what's great about it is there's different levels of enjoyment and content in Star Wars. I don't read the books or the comics or anything like that. Some people like that, but you
Mhm.
get to choose. You get to choose which Star Wars you like and
Yeah.
don't like and follow and stuff. So
Yeah.
all the arguing, like last week's episode with Luke Skywalker,
Ah.
unbelievable.
Ooh, okay, yes, and I have not watched
Unbelievable.
Rise of Skywalker, or I'm sorry, live action Star Wars in a couple weeks, so I do apologize for that. But I started that one specifically, and I didn't get to finish it. But I know you are like a diehard Luke Skywalker fan. You cried when he showed up in the finale for Mandalorian. So what was your thoughts of I thought a fantastic appearance of Luke Skywalker. It just looked amazing.
It was nuts. There was, and the problem with this kind of thing is you start looking for the cracks in the seams and stuff. And watching that episode, there was one like little tiny moment. It was a shot with him and Ahsoka from far away from the perspective of the lake, and he said something, and his mouth wasn't quite like didn't even matter. But I mean, I was just like, why am I trying to find the cracks? Why can't I just sit back and enjoy Luke Skywalker? And on my show, we tend to stay positive. And I said Adam Fraser was like our guest, and I was like, I can't imagine any of the fanboys complaining about this episode. I can't.
Yeah.
And he said that he already got a DM. We were recording like at 9 a.m. He already got a DM saying Cad Bane's hat's too small. It's like, come on, guys. You get your first live action Cad Bane. He looks awesome.
I thought he looked great.
Yeah. And it's like, his hat's too small. What are we even talking about here? What? It's the character, and they're using the animated series voice.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like everyone was complaining that Ahsoka wasn't Ashley Eckstein, and but it's like, oh my gosh, you're getting everything you want. We're really talking about the hat.
Yeah.
We're really talking about the hat.
I agree. I think there's just this group of Star Wars fans that can just never be happy. And and it's just you're never gonna win. You're never gonna win. And
I would say if you don't like Star Wars, then you're not a fan. Right?
I love this this quote here by Nick Dillinger. I think I identify the most with this. And it's Book of Boba Fett was a fantastic Star Wars show and a terrible Boba Fett show. Ralph, what's your thoughts on that one? I'll share my thoughts, but I agree with this statement.
I wouldn't say it's a terrible Boba Fett show. I don't like when there's the extremes where it's either the greatest thing ever. You're hyperbole. It's like it's through the roof. And then the other thing is like, if it's not that, then it's the worst thing ever. I don't think it's a terrible Boba Fett show. I think everything we got with Boba Fett was cool and interesting. His relationship with the Tuskens. Unfortunately, it kind of gets put on the back burner with 2 episodes of The Mandalorian. But this is the most Boba Fett we've ever gotten. By the time you finish the first episode, you already have more Boba Fett in that one 42-minute episode than you do all of Lucas's saga, and maybe even including his appearances in the Clone Wars.
I think so.
So, you kind of have to look at these things in perspective. I wouldn't call it a terrible Boba Fett show. I just think this was a great continuation of the Mandalorian story. We got a little bit of a splinter off to see what Boba Fett was up to before his episode of Mandalorian and after.
Yeah.
And I want to say Adam Fraser, I mentioned again, was our guest last week, had a thread and talking about how the Mandalorian story will continue December 2021, and then Book of Boba Fett shows up December 2021, and it's like, okay, well, they could have basically called it the Mandalorian Book of Boba Fett instead of Star Wars, the Book of Boba Fett. It could be called the Mandalorian, the Book of Boba Fett.
Well,
but I mean,
I
think
have a question about that. I do have a question about that.
Go for
and it's and I think Colleen, my wife, I liked her approach to the Book of Boba Fett, where it's like, and again, I'm not a very religious person, but so I haven't really read the Bible, but she mentioned that it's like a book of the Bible. It's like the book of Matthew or whatever. It's like it's a bunch of other stuff and other stories within this book, and so that's how she kind of interpreted the book of Boba Fett, in that it is like this person's story, but it's not necessarily having to follow just Boba Fett the entire time. And so I think from that perspective, I was like, okay, that kind of makes sense to me. But is there, with this season, to me, I almost think the whole calling something Mandalorian or calling it Book of Boba or whatever is kind of broken, where should it just be like Star Wars post Empire or Fallen Empire or something, or like like something that just kind of encompasses stories in this time frame or in this time period,
like their version of what they call now the Skywalker saga.
Yeah,
so when you get your box set, it'll have Mandalorian, Mandalorian 2,
exactly.
Book of Boba Fett, Mandalorian season 3, and it'll be called the
and we assume
Trials of Mandalore.
Yeah, Trials or we assume the Ahsoka series, I think, is also going to be in this time frame.
Right.
Like, I feel like they need to almost rebrand this post original trilogy, prequel trilogy era as its own,
kind of like
that way. It doesn't have that. You could have like Star Wars post Empire, the Book of Boba Fett, Star Wars post Empire, the Mandalorian, and it could just kind of, so then it's like this is one interwoven story in this time period.
Right. It's kind of what they did with Solo and Rogue One, calling it a Star Wars story, letting you know this works outside of the Skywalker saga.
Yeah.
But if I feel like as soon as we get to Mando season 3 and everybody across the board loves everything about it, and they release a 4-disc DVD set, just name it whatever you're going to name it, and stick Boba Fett as the third.
I agree, because then it would be like chapters where it's like Mandalorian season 1, season 2, Book of Boba Fett, Mandalorian season 3, Ahsoka, whatever they call that, and then but it's like, and then it kind of tells one cohesive story. Because I think where it's like, okay, they should just figure out the sequencing and the names and this chronology, to have it be under one banner, because that introduction of the Mandalorian episode, the 5th episode, and then the 6th episode, especially, which really, and the finale too, is a continuation of season 2 of Mandalorian, in such a degree that it has moved that story over significantly. So if somebody that's a Mandalorian fan, it's like, I'm not going to watch Book of Boba Fett, and if they start watching Mandalorian season 3, they're gonna be like, what happened?
Yeah,
what's going on? And I've had some friends that are like, I love Mandalorian. It's like, oh, you watch a Book of Boba Fett? No. And I think that's a problem with the naming structure and the marketing, because there are people that are like, oh yeah, I absolutely love Mandalorian. Watch the first 2 seasons. Like, you seen the new Book of Boba Fett? I was like, no. I was like, well, you better.
It's missing 2 big chunks.
Yeah.
The story. I have a feeling when season 3 of Mandalorian comes around, a lot of the marketing will center around his stories in this show. So just so everyone's caught up, but
yeah.
But I mean, overall, I don't think it's a terrible show. I don't think it's I think the show's great. I don't think it's a terrible Boba Fett story or show. I think it's a very good story. It just got kind of sidelined. And I think it's kind of unfortunate that the Mandalorian episode came immediately after the episode where it's like, and the Sand people are dead.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it was such an abrupt thing that happened. Like, you figured they might be killed.
Yeah.
But
No, I
but not that quick. And since it happened, like boom, it was just over with. And then now you're telling me about a different guy. It felt a little bit rushed.
Well, that's to me like, and I did want to kind of go through the whole season and just kind of talk about it, but I do think if there's one thing I would critique this season for is the editing was all over the place. Like it was very choppy. And
did we discuss this on my show?
What's that? We did talk about it on your third episode of live action Star Wars for this season of Book of Boba Fett. And even then I was like, it would have made more sense if like all of the I'm blanking on their name now.
Scooter Gang?
No, not Scooter Gang. Tusken Warriors. What are they again? Is that
Tusken Raiders?
Tusken Raiders. Good Lord. I don't know why I couldn't remember the tank name. That should have just been like maybe one episode or something like that. It seemed to jump all over the place. And that's where I think really hurt it. The other thing, and I'll save this thought till we get to this episode. Let's see. It's Book of Boba Fett, Mando, Ahsoka, parts of one story. Exactly. But that's where I think they need to kind of come up with a title to say like everything.
You know how you sell it?
Exactly. Well, go ahead.
You know how you sell it? Let's say the it's whatever I say is gonna sound lame, but it's gonna be like something like the child's journey. Like center it around Baby Yoda.
Yeah.
And people are gonna eat it up.
Oh yeah.
Oh, this is part of the Baby Yoda saga.
It's very marketing. That's kind of very marketing mindset, but it's not a bad. If the original, the 9 episodes is the Skywalker saga, if this is the child saga or Grogu's journey or whatever, like
and so like Scott D said, it's Mando, Book of Boba Fett, Mando, Ahsoka, like all those are part of the Grogu saga. And then boom, everybody's like, oh, well, this saga happens to be called Book of Boba Fett, but I still know that we're going to be getting the baby.
Exactly. And I hope they figure that out. I would, it's especially the way the tail end of this season, it was very much apparent because again, you need to help people understand that. Again, I feel bad for anybody that loved into season 2 and then goes into season 3 of Mandalorian and is like, whoa, what happened? Yes, I thought Grogu was gone.
Where'd this Naboo starfighter come from?
Yes, exactly.
God, I love that thing.
Oh, absolutely.
So I love the Naboo starfighter so much that I saw a clip online and I immediately started watching episode 1. I just love it's. I think my 3rd favorite Star Wars ship. I love it.
It's a great ship, and I have the Hallmark ornament of it, but I do not have any of the toys, which all went up in price. But I'm just gonna wait for them to make a I don't know, whatever the Mandalorian version of that ride. The Rise of Grogu. I like that, Ghost Poppers. Rise of Grogu. Riley Bob, the child chapters.
Oh, I like that.
Yep, I like that too. Okay.
But you can see how those will fly off the shelf. You do that, you call it that, they'll fly off the shelf.
Oh, absolutely. You put
there's your through line.
You put a picture of Grogu right there on the front.
No, the box holds the Blu-rays like this, and it's got the ears, and it comes tied up in the little the chainmail pouch.
Yes. Oh my God. Yes.
A little chainmail pouch.
I love this comic, Ghost Poppers. Do you know that Starfire is going to get destroyed by the end of season 3? It
looks frail. It looks frail.
It will definitely get destroyed whenever Hasbro makes a HasLab for it and funds it, and then it'll get destroyed the next week. Oh my God. All right.
Razor Crest.
Partridge, Adventures in Babysitting, the Grogu story.
Do it.
Oh my God. Okay. Star Wars 2, The Quest for More Money. Oh my gosh. Yeah. And again, the whatchamacallit, his other ship, his old ship, Razor Crest.
Razor Crest.
It's supposed finally that HasLab from a year and a half ago is finally starting to ship. So hopefully be able to get them, even though he may never ride one again. But I assume he'll get some type of freighter at some point, because if you're going to be a bounty hunter still, like that ship's not very good for, storing bounties, but we'll see how that all plays out. But we're definitely going to HasLab Mandalorian Naboo N1 customized starfighter, or hopefully it's just a normal retail release. I
like the original version. I miss the yellow. They look so slick. It's such a cool design.
But I love how that yellow is that graffiti yellow, the American graffiti yellow. It's a really cool color from the film, and then it's a really
Bob Falfa's car.
Yep, and it's in the 80s it was used as a guitar color for Fender, a graffiti yellow. I would love a graffiti yellow Stratocaster. So I love that the Naboo Starfighter is graffiti yellow, and they haven't released one in a long time, but I would love a graffiti yellow Naboo Starfighter. But I also love that this one is hot rodded, like the cars from American Graffiti. So I think that's cool. I think it's a neat little. It all connects together. All right, let's run through the things that happened this season. The thing we all expected to see, him escaping the Rancor. Thoughts on this, Ralph?
Great. How I pictured it.
Yeah, pretty much.
Still like it was like almost like our first episode. I like put him coming out of the sand as the cover art, and I'm like, it's like 7 a.m, and I'm posting this picture. I'm like, is it a spoiler? I mean, I'm assuming everybody knows this is exactly what it's supposed to look like. So no one got mad.
Yeah,
I still don't know.
I love that you calling that out, because there's just things that happen in Star Wars where, like before the prequels, I think we all pictured in our head the fall of Anakin at Mustafar, right? And like
and the lava
in our heads, like how it would go down or whatever. And we got it in the movies. It was like super over the top, like probably greater than we probably thought in our heads that it would be.
Right.
I still love it. But like this one, you're right. Like this is exactly how I pictured Boba Fett escaping the Rancor monster.
Right.
I agree. This didn't make much sense. We'll talk about that in a second, though. Like it didn't make much sense for him to go back.
Oh, yeah.
We'll talk about that in a second. All right. So that was cool. Okay. The whole Dances with Wolves, Avatar, Tusken Raiders storyline. Ralph, your thoughts on this?
I liked it.
Mm-hmm.
I was kind of hoping, and again, I shouldn't bring expectations into this because it'll, sway my opinions. But I really felt like the reason why he was going to try to take over Mos Espa was to reclaim the land for the Tusken Raiders. And so it was a little bit of a disappointment that they got killed off. The kid, who I was referring to as Chaka, and the warrior princess.
Yeah,
not seen in the pile. So maybe down the road, if there is the second Book of Boba Fett, maybe we'll see them. But I was definitely thinking there would be a return, but
I was surprised.
It always happen
for how heavy it was in the beginning of the season.
Yeah,
and especially because we didn't see the warrior. I think the kid, I assume, was dead because he put in the little gaffy stick. But I would assume it would have been brought back in. I loved your idea of he's doing all of this to give it back to the Tusken Raiders. I guess they all died, whatever. But I thought that was a bit of a bummer. Again, my biggest problem with this is just the sequencing. I think it was chopped up, and where it was like you'd be following this one story, and then it would go to the current timeline story. It's like, oh, okay, I'm getting to this. Nope, let's go back to the Tusken Raider story for the rest of the episode. Just kind of, but I did like it.
So for us, me and you personally, we met through a show called Lost, and Lost also dealt with flashbacks, and the flashbacks always pertained to what was happening in the current timeline.
Yes,
and I feel like this didn't really matter. It was just kind of dropped in. It didn't sort of bring his motivation, I don't think, in the current timeline with this past timeline. I think there should have been some sort of parallel through both that kind of helped you along. But
it locks it in more. Plus the flashbacks it would kind of go back and forth, and this would like go for 20 minutes or just close out an episode.
There was like a whole episode that was all a flashback, right? Was
yeah,
it
like
episode
maybe the very beginning was a little bit of
four?
the twins, and then like the rest of it was the Tusken flashback.
Yeah.
So I agree that it added depth, and it kind of gave part of Boba Fett's transition from bounty hunter to trying to be kind of a leader for this planet. But it still seemed a little bit choppy. All right. Next up, let's go in order properly. I don't know. I don't think so. No. But so yes, him going back to the Sarlacc pit didn't make any sense.
Well, it didn't make any sense for the viewer. I mean, I'm assuming he was down there for a while. He came out through like survival instincts.
Yeah.
He was baking in his armor in the two suns.
Yeah.
It got stripped from him. Maybe he just didn't remember. It's a little odd.
Yeah. It was a neat action sequence, but I was also like, why are you so close? The Sarlacc monster's gonna get you, dude. Maybe he killed it because he blasted his way out, but wouldn't you then remember?
Yeah, he clearly like came out the stomach or something. He didn't come out of the mouth, so he probably assumed that if he blasted out the stomach, then it might not be alive anymore.
Yeah.
But the thing I did really like about this was the fact that they did the 83 Sarlacc mouth and the special edition Sarlacc mouth. Yep. So it's like the best of both worlds. So depending on which version of Return of the Jedi you watch, it could still be considered canon, whether it's got the beak or not. So I thought that was a cool move on their part.
Love this call. I don't want to plus it in, but we will talk about it. But his Tusken training made it possible for him to defeat Cad. That is a really good point. It was at the very end, and it did connect to that journey. So that is there. You're 100% right, Ray. Jason, ship happens. Indeed, ship happens. Scott D, what a cute face in the back of Boba's ship.
It's like, oh, why am I doing this? It's like the hello, pushing slowly and just hello darkness, my old friend. just defeated and sad.
I love the Hutt twins.
Yeah. I don't know what else I could say about it other than they're awesome.
Yeah, I thought this was great. I thought it was great. I love that they're being carried in on the little like their little platform.
I trying to hold them up.
Yeah, exactly. I love the Hutts. I love how the Clone Wars explored more of the entire Hutt family. And I'd be cool if we saw some more Hutt action. I just thought this was really neat.
Yeah. Great.
Yeah. I mean, Machete in Star Wars. What more can you ask for? I love that he was the Rancor keeper. I just love that he was the Rancor keeper.
Yeah. It was great. Like you kind of expected him to show up.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of, sort of.
I'm surprised.
But in what capacity? And it was like
with the machete.
Perfect.
With the machete showing up and saving the day at the end. That's what I expected. Robert Rodriguez directed this episode, right?
The last one, yeah.
Yeah, so just saying. Death saves. Hutt action is my stage name. Yes, the Hutt twins using small animals to wipe themselves. I freaking love
Hoojibs. They're Hoojibs. They're called Hoojibs. There was an old Star Wars read-along record called Chewbacca and the Hoojibs. And if you look at the cover, those are the animals.
That's amazing.
The little rabbity animals with a little thing coming out of their head. Adam Fraser again. That he pointed that out.
That's awesome. A Trejos Tacos location inside Jabba's house. When I agree. I watched him. He made. It was on that new Muppet show. Like he showed how he makes tacos or whatever in that show, and I was like, "Dang, those tacos look really good." That's his name. All right. Let's see. Um,
Come on. I mean, really, it's fine. How this was the episode you came on and
yes, it
joined
is.
us.
Yep.
I don't think I had anything bad to say about it. I think my co-host James said they're cool, but they're just weird on Tatooine.
It's the colors. The colors just look so out of place on Tatooine.
Yeah, but I feel like that's kind of punk.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah, no,
You
I
know.
get that. I just think there's this thing where you can't make Vespas look cool. Like there's just, unless you're in Italy in some little town with little streets, like I just don't think you can make them look cool.
Yeah.
A car chase.
I'm fine with them. I'm totally fine with them.
Yes,
And-
Power Rangers Assemble, a lot of Power Rangers comments.
Yeah.
Too much Alita aesthetic. I love that movie though.
I can see that.
That was a good movie.
I've only watched like half of it.
Really? I love it.
Yeah, I need to watch all of it.
Nick Challenger and Boba Fett and his cool youths.
How you do, fellow kids?
Jeff Morse, the Vespa game was not as bad in the last episode. Maybe I thought they were fine last episode. I think it was just in that car chase or that chase. It seemed just slow. And it went on a little too long. I think that was the main problem, to be honest.
Yeah.
Space Cowboy. The only thing that bothered me about the mods was the way their scooters didn't handle in a realistic manner. They looked odd and clumsy. Yeah, agreed.
Yeah.
But anywho, all right, let's keep moving here. The reunion.
Jeez, come on.
Of Grogu and Mandalorian. I'm sorry, these pictures got out of order somehow, but still.
Yeah, it's fine.
It's funny how I had no expectations, and let's see what's next here. Yeah, I had no expectations of Luke being back, seeing Grogu. I didn't even think Grogu would show up in an episode of The Mandalorian. We were all saying like, okay, how's Grogu going to survive the fall of the Jedi Temple or whatever? And I had no expectations, and just to see how they played that out and really getting to find out what Mando's up to and seeing that he kind of went back to try and get to Yoda, baby Grogu. But he did his training with Luke and I thought Luke looked incredible. So that deep fake guy they got was amazing, but the reunion of them, I loved it so much.
It's nuts. Like, you could do a Luke Skywalker series.
Yes.
Like,
I hope the Ahsoka series has Luke in it.
I feel like they've got to. There was a bit of conversation between those two where she says that something about Luke's father.
Mm-hmm.
And
just like your father, right?
I want more.
Mm-hmm.
I want more of that, because Luke Skywalker, the only thing he knows of his dad is he became Darth Vader and that he could sense good in him, but he never knew Anakin, the Jedi.
Yep.
And now he has this opportunity to talk about it with someone who's very close, has a very close relationship with what he was like.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to see that. I want to see more of that.
Yep.
I was so excited because I'm like, when they were first hanging out, I'm like, do they know that she has to know, right?
Yeah.
That's Anakin's son.
Oh,
and then when she brought it up,
family, she said, I'm a friend of the family.
When she brought it up, I'm like, perfect. I want all of that. And I didn't want more Luke. And there was rumors about de-aged Harrison Ford. I didn't want it. I was like, no, you guys are lucky enough to make a very emotional scene where my eyes are filled with tears so I can accept the Luke Skywalker that was on screen. But I'm like, I'm done. Don't push it. I don't want to see it.
Don't overstay.
And then they had this episode. I'm like, oh my God, they did it. And I want more now.
Yes. Yep. Agreed.
I still don't know about Harrison Ford. I'm afraid they're going to keep pushing it. I kind of hope that with just under the radar, they don't tell anybody.
Mm-hmm.
They go in and alter Rogue One. The 2 characters in Rogue One. Just don't let anybody know. Just get it done.
I agree.
Let the internet.
I wanted to fix the end of Mandalorian season 2. Like, do this immediately.
Yeah, but don't tell anybody. It's like Gene's guy. They took out Gene's guy without telling anybody, but the internet, someone on the internet found it, and then we're like, it exploded. Like, just let the word of mouth be don't give it fanfare. Just be like, the movies are updated. We don't have a special edition banner. It's just this is how they are now.
Ray, I agree. Ahsoka and Luke fighting side by side. Yes, please. I want that so bad. David Partridge, I'm a friend of the family. She also has connections to his mom, Padme.
Mm-hmm. Right.
I bring Maul back. Yeah, Ahsoka and Maul in the Solo movie, and somehow bring Maul back in the an Ahsoka Maul showdown again, like part 2. It was so amazing. Wars.
I don't know if I've mentioned it on here, but with this whole face altering thing and all the de-aging going on, I want the opposite for Kenobi.
Okay,
I want there to be a Ewan Guinness hybrid by the end of the show, and I would like to see a recreation of the Maul scene in live action.
I agree.
I mean,
we had a date announced today. Was it May 25th?
Yeah, Disney Plus is so cool. They went on the computer and they looked up live action Star Wars with Ralph and James, and they said, when's their first year anniversary? May 25th. Okay, we're gonna have Kenobi start then. This is so nice of them.
But
what a coincidence.
Space Cowboy is a good call out here. Ahsoka on Kenobi? I think so. She's going to show up everywhere.
In what capacity? What are we talking about here?
I don't know. Like, I assume she will.
Well,
right?
So I mentioned this on my show. Screen Crush talked about who saved Grogu. Who saved Grogu from the Jedi Temple. And based on the one shot we see of the Jedi versus the clone troopers in Order 66, there's a symbol on the wall, and that symbol matches Barriss Offee.
Yep.
So I've been thinking they cast Mary Elizabeth Winstead in the Ahsoka series, that she might be playing Barriss Offee.
Yeah,
the Jedi.
I agree.
So that would be cool.
David Partridge, I was praying we get live action Ezra. I assume we're getting live action Ezra and Ahsoka, because if she's going after Thrawn and Ezra kind of like jumped together with the hyperspace whales. So I assume that's why she's trying to find Thrawn, is because she's trying to find Ezra. That's kind of how Rebels ended. So spoiler alert. But I assume that's where it's going to go. But yeah, I agree. Live action, they're absolutely. And I'd be curious to see. I thought it was beautiful how it was done in Rebels.
Yeah.
But it wasn't it was pretty quick. It was more talking, less. It was more like a duel, you know. It's kind of like a lot of anticipation and then just quick action.
So, if I remember correctly, yeah, that duel is short, and it's mostly a standoff. Where they're just measuring each other. And they each get one strike before someone is victorious. And if I remember correctly, it's Maul doing the same move that killed Qui-Gon. And Obi-Wan countering it. And it's just like, oh my God, like
it's perfect.
That's like Egon's hand on guiding the Neutrino wand. It's like the ultimate lesson that he got from Qui-Gon was seeing how Maul attacked him.
Absolutely.
So good. I would, and I'm not a big fan of. I don't need them to start doubling up on scenes from animation to live action, but that one, I would be totally okay. And I would be okay if it was done shot for shot.
Mm-hmm.
But man, that's if you were to watch one episode of Rebels, that would be the one.
It's fair because it kind of does, but you know, it's so like so much of Clone Wars and Rebels is like Maul going, Kenobi, you know, like just being ticked off at Kenobi, like, so it will kind of just quickly but yeah, I agree. The flashback to Ahsoka Vader duel in the Sith Temple would break me emotionally. That's another big one.
Yeah.
Rebels is so good. I freaking love Rebels.
Yeah, I love Rebels.
Rebels is, you know, where I think Clone Wars, there's a lot of not good and there is incredible, I think, in Clone Wars, but there's a lot of just like filler. Like Rebels, after the first season, like it's, I think, pitch perfect.
That's one of the things I think with like the Book of Boba Fett and the Mandalorian is with Clone Wars, they were on television. They're being broadcast on television, and they're following the structure of like 22 episode season. And so you're gonna get stuff like that. With this new streaming and putting out as many episodes as you want, I feel like these stories should have less filler and be more tightly told. That's just
I agree.
I'll get to more of that on the finale.
Obi-Wan without turning around addresses Maul. Hello there. All right, so yeah, Luke was awesome. I freaking loved it, but I it's probably too far back now, but somebody mentioned how it also kind of shows where he didn't learn the lessons of the Jedi in this, in like basically saying you have to like let go of your attachments, and it does tie in. It doesn't necessarily negate the sequel series.
I was really hoping that it was a test, that Luke is abandoning the old ways of the Jedi, but he knows that Grogu learned in the old ways of the Jedi and was giving him the test that they don't deal with absolutes. They have one or the other. It's the shirt or the lightsaber. Which one do you pick? And I was hoping, and still hoping, that that Grogu passed the test by picking both. That he's no longer dealing with the old ways of the Jedi. That he's allowed to. The whole episode is about Grogu balancing on the rocks and balancing on the log, and it's all about balance. So I was hoping Luke's lesson would be: you can have both, but you have to have balance. You have to be able to do your duty as a Jedi, but you're also able to have a family at the same time and have attachments. You just need to learn the balance. And I'm hoping that's still in play. We didn't see a lightsaber
as well. That's true.
We didn't see a lightsaber, but doesn't mean we won't.
Because to me, it's almost like hitting us over the head that Grogu is going to be the next Mandalorian Jedi, right? Like, and that's like, that's how I'm seeing it. Like, why else bring the Darksaber? Why else, bring the backstory of the only Mandalorian Jedi? Like it's almost hitting us over the head with it. And I would assume that's what's going to happen, right?
Hopefully. Little tiny Grogu helmet. His ears sticking out.
His ears stick out. Yeah, 100%. But still, absolutely loved every second of the Luke and Grogu.
God, look at him.
So, all right. We're jumping around, but let's.
Oh my gosh! Did you get a picture of Grogu sleeping next to the Rancor?
I did. I probably should have, but
it's fine. It's all burned in our memories. We're all aware of it.
Also, I loved the kind of final show, like the last stand with Boba Fett and Mando. I thought that was awesome. I thought the whole sequence was awesome.
Yes, very Butch Cassidy.
Yes,
and the Sundance Kid. Which, shameless plug, I saw for the first time during quarantine, and did an episode about it with your dad.
You did.
Yeah, over on my Patreon. He loves that movie.
Let's talk about the return of Cobb Vanth from Vanth Refrigeration. I, for one, huge Deadwood fan, huge Justified fan, huge Timothy Oliphant fan. And even though he didn't have a whole lot of scenes, his scenes were really impactful. And in that episode 6, with all that amazing Luke stuff, there was this subplot of Freetown, Mos Espa, and Mando tries to get them to be army, be people to support Boba Fett's side. And then we have like a full-on Western, spaghetti Western, Sergio Leone showdown between Cobb Vanth and our first live action appearance of Cad Bane. And people that may want to criticize the look is fine, but the millisecond I saw that sun mirage silhouette, I told Colleen, I was like, oh, this is not good. This is not good.
I think I said the same thing to Stevie. I was like, oh no. And the hat is definitely big enough to make it out in that far shot.
Oh,
like,
absolutely.
You see it and you're like, oh, here we go.
Yep.
I thought he looked great. I thought he sounded great. I thought he was cool. I don't think he's dead.
I don't think so either. We'll talk about that when we go to that showdown.
Yeah.
But this sequence is just so perfect. Like, even it was just such a perfect Western showdown. And the thing is if there's one, tragedy of Deadwood, and I did not see those films that they released, so I guess I'm not a true fan of Deadwood, but I watched all the seasons while it aired on HBO. Loved the show. But they didn't really ever have like a true showdown like this. And Timothy Olyphant just always has the gunslinger kind of walk and everything about him. And what's funny is if you're a fan of Conan and his appearances on Conan O'Brien, he is like really funny. Like, he's not this kind of like hard edged Western guy in real life, but
he's real goofy.
Yeah, he's really goofy, really funny guy. This was just a really cool, steely-eyed, close-in shots. I freaking loved every millisecond of it, even though I knew, I was like, this is not good for Cobb Vanth.
No.
And oh my gosh. And again, just the way the hat was brim low and you just saw his mouth talking, and then he kind of bring the hat up, and it was amazing. Like, for an introduction of Cad Bane to live action, it was, I think, about as pitch perfect as you could do it.
Right. Filoni
does Filoni things.
Filoni's probably been waiting to shoot this scene for 15 years.
Oh yeah. And yeah, I think it was great. It kind of set up in this episode too. And if there's one thing that I do kind of wish, let me get to it here. This showdown, the kind of the final showdown of the film, I thought was awesome, because like Cad Bane's still the quickest trigger finger, but the learns that Boba had from the Tuskens is actually what took out Cad Bane. And there was this really great interplay, and I believe there was interactions in Clone Wars, but I don't think they ever actually specifically did. I think there's just like unused backstory where Cad Bane actually helped Boba Fett become a bounty hunter, or like taught him how to become a bounty hunter, right?
The dent in Boba Fett's helmet is from Cad Bane.
Okay.
It was, I believe it was a deleted scene. Folks were hoping that they would finally see that scene that was deleted in this show, but
that's my one criticism of this, is that I freaking love this scene and I love their interplay. And if there's one thing of like Boba's backstory that they should have done this season, was to kind of show it. And maybe that would maybe spoil the reveal in episode 6, but maybe do that episode earlier so we could have gotten some backstory scenes that would have, I think, added that much more drama to this scene, because like I kind of had that knowledge in my head, so I was able to kind of project that and everything. But as Colleen's watching it with me, I'm like, oh yeah, because they have this, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, oh, okay. And so like for a fan, it's like kind of like, and Colleen's a Star Wars fan, like she loves Star Wars, but if you're not seeing every single little thing and watch every single 101 Easter eggs of Boba Fett episode on YouTube, you probably don't know all of the intricacies of the backstory. And I think it would have been nice if they would explored it this season. That, and they kind of had some clips of him as young Boba Fett, but still, I feel like that was a missed opportunity in this season. What's your thoughts?
I agree. They during the back and forth, they just kind of have to tell you that they have a past.
Mm-hmm.
Just show us.
Yeah.
Show us that. And you could have done a flashback while he's in the back to tank, a quick scene. You don't have to reveal that it's Cad Bane.
Yeah.
You can see over the show. You can see over the shoulder.
You hear
can
the voice.
see just the arm come into place. You can see just like the same thing. Waist down, blaster, shoot, hit him in the helmet. Have the helmet come off. We see Daniel Logan. Just like stuff like that. But yeah, it's kind of weird. It's like I feel like after this episode, when the screen gets tiny, it should suggest you watch whatever episode of Clone Wars with Boba Fett and Cad Bane. I don't think they were ever together. I don't.
No.
I don't remember.
It's from a lost, uncompleted episode of Clone Wars.
There you go.
Like this to me was like your opportunity. You have a Boba Fett show. You have Cad Bane being one of the big bads of this season.
Yeah,
so I feel like that's a missed opportunity. And
he'll
you
be back.
7 episodes. Just do one more episode. Maybe they spent too much money on all of the CGI for Luke and the Rancor tearing up the town. I don't know, but yeah,
Cad Bane will be back.
Oh, totally agree.
100%.
Nobody is dead in Star Wars.
His little beepy life support.
Yeah,
was beeping.
Exactly.
He's good.
He's fine. He's fine.
He got hit in the chest, and I don't know if his lungs are there. B, even if his lungs are there, he's not using them to breathe. He's got the tubes to breathe.
Yeah,
that's connected to his backpack.
Yeah,
he's fine. He'll be.
And part of his head was also under a thing. He's fine.
Yeah.
He's fine. But still, I love the showdown. I love this sequence. A lot of drama, high suspense. I love Cad Bane. I love Cad Bane in Clone Wars, and I really dug the live action version of him. People are saying he's not blue enough or whatever. Blah 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 blah.
Yeah, I also saw in the previous week someone said he's not thin enough. But if you look at him in this episode, the way his duster is cut, it's blocking out how thin he is. But he's definitely thin.
Yeah.
So. I mean, not trying to defend anything, but just. I mean, it's look at this dude. Did you ever think you would see him standing there in real life?
And he's so BA. He's so BA.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about the 100-foot monster in the room. The Rancor. This was so awesome. And the thing is, I think I was on your show when we talked about it. I was like, okay. Clearly, this is going to be like the finale. He's going to ride in on the Rancor. It's going to be amazing. And even then, even though everybody knew Boba Fett was going to do this, I was still kind of like, oh yeah, that's right. When this happened,
it was pretty great. The sequence, I felt like it went on too long. Because the whole thing is the struggle against beating down this one HK hunter killer Terminator robot, and then it's like, oh, now he's got to go to the other side of town and get the other one. So it was. I felt like it could have been timed a little bit, and then, I mean, he turns straight up into King Kong.
Yeah,
him climbing up the building. Straight up King Kong, waiting for biplanes to come by and try to shoot him down.
I thought it was awesome.
So it was awesome.
I wish they hadn't preceded the riding the Rancor idea. I would have enjoyed this moment way more if they didn't allude to it. Thoughts on that, Ralph?
I'm with you. I completely forgot. When he took off, I did not think he was coming back with the Rancor. So as soon as he did, I was like, oh yeah, that's awesome. So the fact that it wasn't on my mind, it didn't really bother me.
I think it's the benefit of us not spending any time with Boba Fett for 2 episodes in 2 weeks, right?
Right.
I'd kind of forgotten most of. It's like, oh yeah, the Pikes are bad. Yeah. There's a war coming. Yeah, okay, gotcha. Yeah. Where's Grogu? Where's the baby? I want to see the baby. But it was really cool. I really dug it. Colleen agrees that she thought it went on a little too long. Everyone knew it was going to happen, but it was still a lot of fun. I agree. Took longer to kill a robot than walk from Jabba's palace to Mos Espa. Maybe it runs.
He did fly. Did
I
leave in his
this,
jetpack.
this, I mean, I guess maybe they just didn't understand, but I don't know why the villagers started shooting at it after he just saved them. That was a little bit.
Right.
Oh my god! I would like to see the baby. That's my Werner Herzog impression. Wasn't that good? Yeah. First, I getting Slave One. Absolutely. I thought maybe getting the ship. The ship would be really helpful right about now.
Yeah, I guess that is the drama.
Where's the Rancor training montage on the cutting room floor? But you best believe it was. What was the song in Rocky 4? It was to that, or it was to
Hearts on Fire. Hearts.
I think so. Or it was. It should have been the South Park and was it America
Montage song.
Yeah, the gonna be
Team
a
America.
montage. Team America World Police.
Yeah.
It should have been that. But anyway, and then but of course Grogu doing Grogu things peaceably puts the Rancor monster to sleep and sleep next to him is so freaking cute.
A power we've seen Ezra use.
I believe so. I believe you're right.
Yeah.
I thought this was really sweet. I thought it was really cute.
Yeah.
It was really cute. Let's see. Oh, and then and again, we all knew the little bubble was gonna be for Grogu, right? This is
Right.
The R2 spot or the Astromech spot
Right.
was gonna be for him. Just a nice little scene between the two of them. I thought it was a lot of fun. Any thoughts there?
It's the one thing I expected to happen, and it happened. And him tapping on that glass.
Yes.
Him tapping on that glass with I'm like, he's gonna break it. He's gonna get sucked out into space.
But we all know from Leia, you just fly through space. Mary Poppins, y'all.
Barely made it. She barely made it too.
All right, and then our post-credit scene, Cobb Vanth Refrigeration, getting some mod upgrades.
Yeah.
What if his upgrades are like he gets a robot arm, so he have like the quickest trigger finger in the West?
Maybe like all RoboCop style. They like spin it really fast.
Exactly. Yeah, just like the up because he got shot in the shoulder, right? So maybe it's just like
Why don't you just make his hand a gun?
I don't want his hand to be
shoulder guns. Shoulder guns. He doesn't have to draw. He just shoots from his shoulder.
Oh my god. Where is Mando? Off to find the waters of Mandalore? Maybe. I mean, clearly, to me, I always thought season 3 of Mandalorian was going to be kind of the very much the Mandalorian saga and what happens with But anyways, Nick Killinger, thank you for your cooperation. Guns just pop out of his arms. That would just be very Ryo Blast from Masters of the Universe. Shoots from his hip. It comes out of his hip and shoots out.
I like it.
Ooh, great call out here, Maximo. They keep talking about Cobb Vanth needing armor. Love that call. I don't know this one. Vanth looking like Dieter from Sprockets. I'm blanking on that one.
It's a SNL sketch, Mike Myers.
Oh, okay.
Now's the time we dance.
Oh, yes, like where he's a German dude or whatever.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Dieter.
I'm there. Dieter. Yep. On it. I totally thought BK was going to be in the tank and just come out sopping wet. Yeah. Santo for sure. But then once I saw Santo, I think maybe calling me says like, oh, I hope it's Cobb Vanth. I thought it was going to be Cad Bane. I was like, oh, he's going to bring Cad Bane back to life or something. But
yeah, definitely shades of Lost. Who's in the coffin? Yeah,
for sure.
They probably shot like 3 of these.
Oh, Cobb Vanth going to be joining the old cartoon of the Galaxy Rangers. Cobb Vanth, Ryo Blast cosplay. Yes, 100%. He gets Trapjaw's arm. He's becoming Brave Star. Brave Star is cool. So much of Mando fulfilling his mission at the end of Mando season 2. This is not the way. Wearing the black turtleneck is very Steve Jobs of him. But yeah. Okay, there you go. That is
Steve Jobs.
Anything else in Book of Boba Fett?
It's great. It's Star Wars.
It's Star Wars.
We love Star Wars. We got to
talked about this
see.
time.
Yeah, he's alive.
Yep.
He's alive. We all agree.
And this too, like Boba Fett sparing every rival who comes after him and recruits. Each one has a new ally. Like Cad Bane, bring him back to life. Bring him in your Steve. Steve Cobbs. Oh my God. All right, but yes, final thoughts here, Ralph.
Loved it. It's Star Wars, and it's fun. Enjoy the ride. No need to get hung up on like the smallest details.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't like that Luke Skywalker had to digitize voice, I'm sure Mark Hamill signed off on it and thought it was fine.
He did, right?
Like
I thought they DH'd his own voice or whatever. That's what I thought they did.
Yeah, they use the computer program and people aren't happy about it because he's a voice actor, so why not just get him? He probably liked this. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Things could be bright. Things could be not bright. Don't get hung up on some of this stuff, guys. Just like, I just want everybody to enjoy Star Wars. And if you don't, like, I get it. If it's story stuff, like I didn't care for the last episode of Book of Boba Fett because there really wasn't any more story.
Yeah.
It was just all action.
Mm-hmm.
But still, like, there's always something fun to enjoy. Get hung up on that stuff. Get hung up on the stuff you like, not the stuff you didn't like, because the stuff you don't like might not be the biggest deal.
Mm-hmm.
The hat is just fine. Everybody, don't worry. Big picture here. Honestly, big picture. Yes.
I agree. I agree, Ralph. 100%.
So
we did want to talk about Peacemaker a little bit. We were kind of running long. Other than that, when is Peacemaker done? Is it next week?
Next week. I think there's tomorrow's episode and then one more. I just want to say,
do you want to do a Screen Geeks after Peacemaker is all said and done?
Sure. Like, next
Thursday?
Friday. Well, it's Thursdays when it comes out.
Yeah.
I'd have to watch it early. I don't know. Maybe
Thursday night.
We'll see. I have to check my schedule.
Or Friday, Friday, maybe.
Friday's somebody's birthday.
All right. When
we'll
you want to do a stream on your birthday, we could do
sure
a super chats to give Ralph money for his birthday.
We'll figure. Listen, here's the deal. Me and Jay will figure it out. And if you hit that bell icon, you'll know exactly when we picked.
Ooh, that's a great plug. Yes, hit the subscribe button and that bell icon if you haven't done it yet. I think I'm only 750 subscribers away from 10,000 subscribers on Geek Dad Life. And
be sure to tell your friends you don't want to miss tomorrow's Geek Dad Life.
Well, yeah, I mean,
I almost asked Stevie if she could, for this episode,
do the
eyeliner.
Well, let's talk about that for a second because hold on. Let's I did want to, at least if you didn't see it on my community page.
Oh no.
It's been shot.
Oh no. Is this going to be your highest viewed video? I mean, this needs to be put everywhere.
This is all of your fault in the chat. This is all everybody.
No, this is
fault that did the like button,
dude.
Like, Riley Bob, where are you? You had this idea, Mike Giorlico as well.
So that your whole thing to get people to like Sunday's Screen Geeks, to make this happen, you got Stevie to go on her phone, sign in, go to the video that we were watching, the live stream on our Apple TV, just to hit that like to see this. And dude, this better be the image that you use for the review.
It is. This is the thumbnail. This is the image I'm making the thumbnail out of.
It just needs to be called emo review of the Batmobile or something like that. Like minimum words on the screen, just this image with like,
Oh my
dude,
god! What's the price?
Find the most gothic font you can find. Like one of those ones where it looks like it's dripping, or it's like scratched out like what's the Charmed, like the Charmed logo or something, where like the I don't know, in the Batman logo it's like a circle cross with it, and it's like make it the most goth.
Oh my
This
god.
should be your entire background should be black and white.
We'll see. I
Pictures on
gotta work on it. I
Pictures
gotta
on
work on
these.
the thumbnail. But okay, let me just say this.
Can I work on it?
We're 750 subscribers away from 10,000. My whenever I started this channel, I was like, who knows how I'll get there? But I'm not gonna do a Patreon or anything like that till I hit 10,000. So if you want like a fun Patreon page with like an exclusive community page and exclusive content and stuff like that, hit the subscribe button, because once I hit 10,000, I feel like, okay, there's enough people that maybe would do the Patreon thing to make it worth everybody's time. So,
and in the meantime, just go to patreon.com/casino-skunk, and that'll
out of here, pimping your stuff.
God damn it. I'm sorry. This image is amazing. It seriously is amazing. Look at you look almost mad that they made a toy car.
But the thing is, I'm not an emo person, so I think I still just did it straight. Like
You're gonna get caught. You're gonna get slapped with a copyright strike just on the look alone.
It is the Spin Master Batmobile, and if you don't know, on Sunday's Toy Geeks, I bought some of the Batmobile and some of the toys for the new The Batman movie.
Very cheap.
And Ralph, I assume you and I will do like a opening night or opening weekend Screen Geeks for Batman.
Right.
And so we did it the week before. Like if we get 150 likes, I will do an unboxing this week for it. And the chat started like throwing out ideas to like stretch goals, and I think Mike said like, oh, it should be eyeshadow, and then Riley Bob I think doubled down on it. That should be 200 likes. I was like, all right, fine. If there's we've never had 200 likes during an episode before. Like we've gotten them after or whatever, but like while the episode is happening, had never hit 200. We hit 200. And I did another stretch goal of 250 to put a whole bunch of jackets on, which is why I'm wearing all those jackets. Like the figure,
I requested that you have jacked up hands, but you didn't take that suggestion.
Yeah, I couldn't do a full review like this.
Just knocking stuff over.
Oh my gosh. Anyways,
just leave it up there forever.
I did not blow out my voice doing the Nolan Batman voice, but swear to me. But yes, hit the subscribe button and that bell icon. Be notified whenever a Peacemaker episode drops. Whenever this episode will drop tomorrow. My guess is probably 3, 4, 5 o'clock, somewhere around there.
Yeah, and I think after the finale is the best time to talk about it.
Oh, 100% for Peacemaker. Yeah, I think so. Ralph, you did want to talk about a little bit of toys though for a second.
Just a tiny bit, because you and John, for some reason during Toy Geeks, bring up Screen Geek stuff, and I'm like, I'm sitting on my couch watching you guys step in my territory. Just a little tiny itsy bitsy thing. The Super 7 Godzilla figures are announced today.
Yeah.
Need those. I don't collect Godzilla stuff. I did the Kaiju podcast with Jorge for 4 years. I don't collect Godzilla stuff because it's so expensive. The licensing right through Toho must just be through the roof, because it's always like in the upper 80s, and they always measure their figures in centimeters. And it's like, I don't want a 5-centimeter Jet Jaguar for $90.
Yeah,
so
it's
Super
pricey.
7.
It's a pricey habit for sure.
Yeah. So I mean, honestly, I'd get the bottom 3 and I'd be totally happy.
But they're reactions, so they're going to be tiny.
That's fine though.
They're going to be this
big.
They'll
be affordable. Yeah, I know. I need to get that. I need to get my hands on one of
Nick Dillinger. Thank you, Nick.
Yeah.
But yeah, Safubi isn't cheap. Safubi Stress on Yes Have Some. Great show. Check it out if you haven't yet. But we're not at 50 likes yet. Come on, everybody, hit that like button. Gosh darn it.
It's me. It's because John's not here. Everyone loves John so much.
John brings the sex appeal. We all know it. He brings that oh my god. They already did. It's great. Can't wait for more. Yeah, I agree. It's just it's not that big.
That's fine. I don't have the shelf space.
That's fair.
I have enough room for this. I have enough room for this Jet Jaguar.
But even his tongue pops out.
Does his hand shoot off, or can you take it off?
No, I don't. No, it doesn't. Oh wait, no.
With enough force.
But I'd break it if I did that. But anyway, all right. So next Screen Geeks, we're going to talk about Peacemaker after the season is complete. Maybe it'll be the day of. Maybe it'll be on Ralph's birthday. Maybe it'll be after that. Who knows? But still, Screen Geeks will be coming up soon. Tomorrow will be the Spin Masters, the Batman review. Oh my god!
Just can you please? No text. I think the image alone will sell all of YouTube on what this video will be.
Works. It's not how YouTube works, but I'll try my best.
Just look at it.
Oh my god. Anyway, most people that probably will find it that don't know the channel or don't watch Toy Geeks or whatever. Will be like, what the hell is he doing? Anyway, all right, everybody. I will see you tomorrow in that review from Batman. Toy Geeks will be on Sunday, and next week somewhere around there, we'll have a Peacemaker episode of Screen Geeks. So until then, thank you everybody for joining us. Book of Boba Fett is in the books, and now on to Obi-Wan. That's the next thing. You can follow Ralph on Live Action Star Wars, where he covered every single episode of Book of Boba Fett. And Ralph, that is liveactionstarwars.com is a direct link to that page.
Yep, to the YouTube. Subscribe.
Definitely give us subscribe. Watch the shows. You have some awesome guests on the show. Most specifically me, episode 3. So check that out. But check them all out. It's a lot of fun. And there's a bunch of other Star Wars content. And actually, I was on episode, we did the holiday special, your holiday special episode.
We watched the entire holiday special. We did a live running commentary. And it might be a better way to enjoy that episode or enjoy the holiday special in general.
I think it's the only way to enjoy the holiday special is with friends. So definitely check that out. It's liveactionstarwars.com. And everybody have a great rest of your night. And until next time, hasta luego. And goodbye.